Hey guys, Tiffany Ofili Porter here, where I discuss all things life after sport. In this video, I am going to give you the 8 tips that have helped me to balance marriage and motherhood. Now, I have been married for 13 years and I've been a mom now for 5. I do have 2 children. And although my husband and I do feel like we had a really great handle on our marriage, one of the benefits of getting married young and waiting a little bit longer to start having children, we definitely still had to make the adjustment once the kids came along, because kids come and they shake things up. So I want to break down the 8 tips that I think could be useful for you in balancing marriage and motherhood. So let's just jump right into it.
Motherhood with medals on her chest, she's proven her greatness, knows no rest, representing her countries with pride she stands.
Number 1, you have to prioritize communication. And I know. I feel like I talk about this so much in previous videos and just in general, because communication is important in marriage, in relationships, at work, just so important in every facet of life, but it's supremely important once you throw children into the mix. You have to keep those lines of communication open with your partner, to set expectations, to discuss what your needs are, where you think things can be better, things that you think are going well, and just do it regularly. Having those conversations regularly is key, because you don't want to beat around the bush. You don't want to bottle things up. You don't want things to escalate and become bigger problems just because you didn't have a conversation when something was bothering you and nip it in the bud. I definitely recommend addressing issues as they arise. Address those issues up front, and this really does help to avoid misunderstandings. Number 2, schedule that quality time with your partner. I really do believe in setting aside those regular, intentional periods of time just for you and your partner. Even if it's just a short intentional moment each day, it really does make a difference. Baby, I am the queen of scheduling a solo date night on our calendar and just being mindful of how long it's been in between our dates. Now, I love going on our family dates just as much as the next person, but I am very intentional about ensuring that it's not the only time that my husband and I spend quality time together. We definitely have to make sure that we are doing it alone without the children periodically. Those solo date nights where it's just you and your partner are critical in ensuring that you keep the spark alive. Now, speaking of spark, your girl is not above scheduling alone time, if you know what I mean, as well. Now, I don't necessarily put it on the calendar, but best believe I am keeping a running tally of how long it's been since my husband and I have been intimate, because I refuse to look up and, it's just not something that has been prioritized. Whether it is the date nights or the sexy time, I do think that it is extremely important to schedule that uninterrupted time, and this can really strengthen your bond and just keep the relationship strong. Number 3, share household responsibilities. In our marriage, we divide parenting and household duties very fairly. Now, my husband works outside of the home. I work with inside of the home. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm a content creator and a blogger, and I have more time in the house with the kids. So it would be kind of outrageous for me to think that it's going to be 100% us doing the exact same roles, because that's just not what is working for our family. However, we are very clear on our expectations as to what my husband's roles are and what mine are. For example, when Jeff gets home, we all eat dinner as a family and we, connect in that way. But then once that's over, Jeff has kind of naturally taken on the role of being the bath time person. So he'll go upstairs, he'll bathe JJ, bathe Chi-Chi, and I'll be downstairs cleaning up and making sure that the house is put together for the next day. So I do think that is very important to keep in mind, because if Jeff just said, I want to sit down and watch football while you do bath time and clean up, it would become very overwhelming very, very quickly. And just making sure that you do divide those parenting and household duties fairly, it can prevent burnout and to ensure that both parents feel like they are involved and supported every single day. Number 4, establish boundaries between personal and family time. One thing that has really worked in my marriage is that when the kids are sleeping, we kind of have unofficially designated that time for just us, whether we are just talking, cuddling, joking around, or just enjoying each other's presence. It honestly is a period of time that I look forward to every single night. We decided very early on not to co-sleep with our kids and to ensure that they know that there is that boundary where our bed is our bed, you guys have your own beds, and we kind of keep it separate. And this has really been helpful for us to just make sure that we are connecting every single night away from the kids, even if it's just momentarily. Some days I might be editing content and Jeff might be finishing up emails for work, but just the fact that we are together and that we have designated and carved out that time just to be alone has been extremely helpful in maintaining those boundaries between us and our kids. Now, it might seem simple, but like I mentioned, I really do look forward to these periods of time at night because it allows us to reconnect, to discuss our wins for the day, our losses for the day, and then just to be together in that way. I love those times, and our kids have just embraced, sleeping in their own rooms, and they love it as well. For example, last night, Jeff and I took the monitor downstairs. We went on the patio, we lit a fire pit, and we just enjoyed a very peaceful evening where we just chatted, we reflected, and I enjoyed that so much. I mean, it did end with a nightcap. Different conversation for different day, but all in all, it was just a fantastic evening, and we didn't need to go on a fancy date night to feel connected, and small moments like this really can make a big difference. Now, with setting those boundaries as a couple, it's also important that you do it for yourself individually as well. Sometimes it's okay for me just to have a quiet moment by myself without my kids, without my husband, just to recharge and be alone with my own thoughts, and I encourage the same for my husband. So just setting those boundaries and sticking to them will make such a difference. Number 5, be okay with seeking support. Do not hesitate to ask for help from friends, family, professionals, or just anyone in your circle when you need it. Motherhood is hard, marriage is hard, and we are not meant to do this alone. Really tap into your community and be okay with knowing when to seek help or guidance or just support when you are really needing it. And sometimes, even if you don't need it, like even if it's not an emergency and you're not like dying, just having that support system can make such a huge difference. I have my fellow mom friends who have been amazing at offering to watch my kids here and there when we need them. And I have built a great community here in Kansas City, so I definitely do appreciate that. And it has really made a difference. When Jeff and I need to go out for a date night, we know who to call, and we are more than okay. In fact, we embrace it in seeking out that help when it's needed. My mother-in-law stayed with us over the summer for about 6 to 8 weeks, and just having her there was such a huge reminder of the importance of community. Now, we don't necessarily have family here, but we have friends that are becoming family, and it really does make a difference. So for those of you who do live near family and you don't necessarily have to pay for childcare, please embrace it, please appreciate it, and know that there are a lot of people that envy that. And even if you don't have family, just tap into your community. It's going to help you in your marriage and in your motherhood journey as well. Number 6, you have to be flexible. Understand that both marriage and parenthood require flexibility. One thing life has taught me is that things seldom go according to plan, and this is supremely true in motherhood. Your kid might get sick and it might derail your date night plans. Or your kid might be having a tantrum or a meltdown during a very important meeting that you've had scheduled for weeks. And these are just 2 examples of what it can look like when life throws you curveballs. Just being able to roll with the punches will have a huge impact on your mindset and ultimately kind of how your day progresses. So just be prepared to adapt to changes and challenges as they arise. Number 7, practice self-care. Taking care of your physical and mental health is crucial. And ladies, this means also encouraging your man to do the same. I find that there's a huge emphasis on women prioritizing self-care and taking the time out for themselves to just feel like their best. But sometimes with guys, they can be forgotten. So if that means you schedule him a massage or give him a massage or just give him that alone time that he needs to regroup and recharge, encourage that, embrace it, and know that when he is feeling full and like his best self, he can show up as a better partner for you and a better father to your children. Healthy individuals are better able to manage the demands of marriage and motherhood. Number 8, celebrate small wins. Recognize and appreciate the small achievements in both your marriage and your parenting journey. If you and your husband, for example, have had a conversation of him being more hands-on or involved with the kids, and you see him taking the steps and taking that initiative, celebrate it, acknowledge it, because ultimately those small wins are what add up to the big wins and victories that we have on a day-to-day basis. And this is also true as a parent. If you see that your kid has been struggling with something, maybe learning their sight words the way my daughter and I have, when you see that she's making progress, really cherish those moments and celebrate and encourage them to continue on, because that encouragement goes such a long way as a parent and within your marriage. Those small wins add up to the big ones, and this can boost your morale and foster a positive outlook. Balancing the role of marriage and motherhood is an ongoing process, and being kind to yourself as you navigate this journey can make a huge difference. And that is it for this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed these 8 tips and that you found it useful. It is such a beautiful journey, motherhood and marriage. And I think with just a little bit of preparation that you can balance them beautifully. So if you like videos like this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to join the family. I make marriage videos, sister-log videos, vlogs, and a whole array of other videos as well. If that's something that sounds interesting to you, join the family. I would love to have you as a subscriber. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.